You know, every single day I hear seniors say the same thing. Doc, I was told I have to give up bread, give up rice, give up everything I love. And every single time, I tell them the same thing back. That is not true. Carbohydrates are not the enemy. And today, I'm going to prove it to you. And more importantly, I'm going to show you exactly how to eat carbs the right way so your blood sugar stays steady, your energy stays high, and you can still enjoy the foods you love. Stay with me to the end because the tip I share at number 3 has genuinely changed the lives of dozens of my patients. Before we talk about problems, let's talk about something most people get completely wrong. Carbohydrates are actually essential for your body, especially as you get older. Your brain runs almost entirely on glucose, which comes from carbohydrates. Without enough carbs, many of my senior patients feel foggy, tired, irritable, and weak. And here's what nobody tells you. Fiber, which is a type of carbohydrate, is one of the most powerful tools we have for heart health, gut health, and blood sugar control. Foods like oats, sweet potatoes, beans, and whole grain bread are loaded with fiber. These are carbohydrates, and they are genuinely good for you. Carbs also help preserve muscle. As we age, muscle loss, what doctors call sarcopenia, becomes a real concern. When you don't eat enough carbohydrates, your body actually starts breaking down muscle tissue for energy. So cutting carbs completely can actually make you weaker, not stronger. So the goal is never to eliminate carbs. The goal is to eat the right carbs in the right way at the right time. And that's exactly what I'm going to teach you today. Now, here's where I need to be honest with you. Because while carbs are not the enemy, aging does change how our bodies handle them. And this is something I wish more doctors took the time to explain. When you were 30 or 40 years old, your body was very efficient at processing carbohydrates. You'd eat a piece of bread, your pancreas would release insulin, your cells would absorb the sugar, and everything would balance out nicely. But after 60, several things start to shift. First, insulin sensitivity naturally and progressively decreases with age. Your muscle cells and liver cells gradually stop responding to insulin as efficiently, quickly, and effectively as they once did in your younger years. This means that after every single meal, your blood sugar stays elevated for a longer period of time than it should. Your body is producing the insulin, it simply is not responding to it properly anymore. Over time, this consistent and repeated pattern can quietly and gradually lead to prediabetes, then full type 2 diabetes, and eventually an entire cascade of serious and life-altering complications that affect virtually every organ system in your body. Second, muscle mass naturally and progressively declines with age. Here's something genuinely important that most people are never told. Your muscles are actually one of the largest and most powerful storage units for blood sugar in your entire body. When your muscles actively absorb glucose after a meal, that is blood sugar being directly and efficiently pulled completely out of your bloodstream and safely stored away. It is one of your body's most important and effective glucose management mechanisms. But if you have lost significant muscle mass, and which happens naturally and unavoidably with aging, and happens even faster if you are less physically active than you once were, there is simply less available muscle tissue to absorb and store that incoming sugar after every meal. So instead of being safely absorbed and stored, it remains circulating in your blood longer than it should, keeping your blood sugar elevated and causing compounding damage over time. Third, digestion naturally and progressively slows down with age. As we get older, the entire digestive system gradually becomes less efficient and less responsive than it once was. This slowdown directly and meaningfully affects both how quickly and how dramatically blood sugar rises and fluctuates after eating a meal, making glucose management increasingly unpredictable and challenging for older adults. Fourth, and this one is frequently overlooked, many seniors are already taking multiple medications daily. Common prescription drugs including blood pressure medications, statins for cholesterol, and even certain widely used over-the-counter anti-inflammatory medications can all directly and meaningfully interfere with and affect how your body metabolizes and regulates blood sugar over time. The result? The very same bowl of pasta that never once bothered you at 45 might now cause a dramatic and significant blood sugar spike at 68. Your body simply handles it differently than it used to. And those repeated, consistent spikes, what doctors clinically call postprandial hyperglycemia, are directly and strongly linked to chronic inflammation, persistent fatigue, progressive nerve damage, increasing kidney stress, and serious long-term cardiovascular risk. These are not minor or distant concerns. These are real, compounding health consequences that quietly build over time with every single spike. This is precisely why what I am about to share with you matters so deeply and so urgently. Before I go any further, for those of you who are new here, let me introduce myself. My name is Dr. Hiroshi Sato. I'm a physician with a specialization in metabolic health and healthy aging. Over the past many years, I've worked with hundreds of seniors right here in the United States, helping them manage blood sugar, improve energy, and live with more vitality well into their 70s, 80s, and beyond. I created this channel because I believe every senior deserves clear, honest, science-based health information without the confusion, without the fear-mongering, and without being told to just eat less and exercise more. You deserve better than that, and that's what we do here. Now, real quick, if you're finding this helpful, would you do me a small favor? Hit that like button right now. I know it sounds small, but it genuinely helps this information reach more seniors who need it. YouTube's algorithm pays attention, and every like tells it, this is worth sharing. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a new video. I post new health content every week, specifically for seniors and their families. And I love hearing from you. So drop a comment below and tell me, where are you watching from today? Whether you're in Florida, Texas, California, New York, or anywhere else, let me know. I read every single comment and I love knowing who I'm talking to. Now, let's get into the good stuff. The first strategy is understanding something called the glycemic index, or GI for short. This is a genuinely useful and practical tool that every senior managing their blood sugar should be familiar with. Every single carbohydrate-containing food has its own GI score, which clearly tells you how quickly and dramatically that particular food raises your blood sugar after eating it. High GI foods cause a fast, sharp, and dramatic spike that overwhelms your system almost immediately. Low GI foods cause a slow, gradual, and gentle rise in blood sugar instead, which is precisely and exactly what we want to see happening inside your body after every meal. Here's a simple and practical comparison that makes this concept very easy to understand and apply immediately. White bread, high GI. It hits your bloodstream fast and causes a rapid, sharp sugar spike. Sourdough whole grain bread, much lower GI. It digests slowly and steadily, giving your body time to manage the glucose properly. White rice, high GI. Brown rice or barley, noticeably lower GI, a much smarter and better choice for seniors managing their blood sugar daily. Instant oatmeal from a convenient packet, surprisingly and deceptively high GI despite its healthy reputation. Steel-cut oats, however, low GI and an absolutely excellent breakfast choice for older adults. A regular russet potato when baked, high GI. A sweet potato prepared the same way, moderate GI, and additionally packed with beneficial fiber, vitamins, and essential nutrients your aging body genuinely needs. The rule of thumb is simple. The less processed the carb, the better it is for your blood sugar. Whole grains, legumes like lentils and chickpeas, non-starchy vegetables, these are your best friends. This is one of the most important things I teach my patients, and I want you to remember it. Carbohydrates eaten alone spike blood sugar fastest. But when you pair carbs with protein, healthy fat, or fiber, the digestion slows down dramatically. Sugar enters your bloodstream more gradually. The spike is smaller. The crash is gentler. So instead of eating a plain slice of toast, put some avocado or a boiled egg on top. Instead of eating plain white rice, add a serving of grilled salmon and a pile of steamed vegetables. Instead of a banana by itself, have it with a small handful of almonds or a tablespoon of natural peanut butter. This concept is called food combining, and it's one of the simplest, most effective things you can do starting with your very next meal. Protein slows gastric emptying, meaning food leaves your stomach more slowly. Fat does the same. Fiber creates a kind of physical buffer that slows sugar absorption in the gut. Together, they are a powerful defense against blood sugar spikes. This is the tip I mentioned at the beginning, the one that has genuinely surprised my patients when they see how well it works. Most people eat in a very simple order. They take a bite of bread, then a bite of chicken, then some vegetables. Random, mixed, no particular order. But research, and I've seen this in my own patients, shows that the order in which you eat food at a meal significantly affects your blood sugar response. Here's the new approach I recommend. Start with vegetables and protein. Eat your carbs last. Begin your meal with a salad or steamed vegetables. Then move to your protein, your chicken, fish, eggs, or beans. Save the rice, bread, or potato for the last part of the meal. Why does this work? By the time carbohydrates reach your small intestine, the protein and fiber from earlier in the meal have already begun slowing digestion. The glucose absorption is dramatically reduced. Studies have shown this simple reordering can reduce post-meal blood sugar spikes by 30 to 40%. You're eating the exact same food, The exact same calories, just in a different order, and your blood sugar responds completely differently. Try this at your next meal. I think you'll be amazed. I want to be careful here because I genuinely do not want you walking away from this video feeling afraid of food or anxious every time you sit down for a meal. Food is nourishment, food is enjoyment, and that should never change, but portion size does matter. It matters more than most people realize. Eating 4 full cups of pasta is simply not the same biological experience as eating half a cup. The difference in your blood sugar response is dramatic and significant, but this is not about deprivation or punishment. It is not about removing joy from your meals. It is about calibration, making small, intelligent adjustments that your body genuinely benefits from without making you feel restricted or miserable. For most seniors, a reasonable and balanced carbohydrate portion at any given meal is roughly half a cup of cooked grains or starch, approximately the size of your closed fist when held naturally. That is a perfectly sufficient amount to give your body steady, reliable energy without overwhelming your system or sending your blood sugar on an unwanted roller coaster. And spread your carbs throughout the day rather than loading them all at one meal. 3 smaller carb servings spread over breakfast, lunch, and dinner is far better for blood sugar than eating almost none all day and then a large pasta dinner at night. This one is completely free, remarkably simple, and incredibly effective when done consistently and made into a genuine daily habit. After you eat, especially after a carbohydrate-containing meal that would otherwise cause a significant blood sugar spike, try to take a short, gentle, and unhurried walk. Even just 10 to 15 minutes of easy, comfortable movement makes a measurable and genuinely meaningful difference to your blood sugar response. You do not need to push yourself. You do not need to break a sweat. Here is exactly why it works so powerfully and reliably. When your muscles are actively moving, even at a gentle, relaxed pace, they pull glucose directly and efficiently out of your bloodstream entirely on their own. No insulin required, no medication needed. Your body essentially opens up an additional and completely natural glucose disposal pathway that bypasses the insulin resistance problem entirely. It is one of the most elegant and underappreciated biological mechanisms available to every senior, completely free of charge. Think of it like having an extra drain suddenly open up in a filling bathtub, quietly, efficiently, and continuously clearing the excess glucose before it has any chance to cause damage. A short walk after dinner is not just good exercise. It is one of the most powerful blood sugar management tools available to you, and it costs absolutely nothing. Research consistently shows that a short post-meal walk can reduce blood sugar spikes by 20 to 30%. You don't need to jog. You don't need a gym. Just get up, go outside if you can, and walk around the block. Your blood sugar will thank you. Here's a fascinating one that genuinely surprises almost everyone who hears it for the first time. When you cook starchy carbohydrates like rice, pasta, or potatoes, and then deliberately let them cool down completely before eating, something truly remarkable happens at a molecular level. The entire starch structure physically changes and transforms into what scientists call resistant starch. And resistant starch behaves almost exactly like dietary fiber inside your body. It actively resists digestion in your small intestine and simply does not spike your blood sugar nearly as dramatically or as quickly as freshly cooked starch does. So that leftover rice sitting in your refrigerator from the night before, it is actually meaningfully better for your blood sugar than freshly cooked rice eaten hot straight from the pot. That potato salad that has been quietly chilling in the fridge for a few hours? Genuinely better for your glucose response than a hot-baked potato pulled straight out of the oven. The cooking has already happened. The cooling does the rest of the work for you entirely for free. This doesn't mean you need to eat cold food all the time, but if you're meal prepping, this is a genuine advantage. Let me bring it all together for you. Carbohydrates are not your enemy. Your body needs them. But as a senior, the way you eat carbs matters more than it ever has before. Here's your simple action plan. Choose low GI carbs, whole grains, legumes, sweet potatoes, oats, pair carbs with protein, fat, or fiber. Never eat them alone. Eat carbs last at your meal. After vegetables and protein, watch portions. About a fist-sized serving per meal is a good guide. Take a short walk after eating. Cool your carbs when possible for resistant starch benefits. You don't have to give up bread. You don't have to give up rice. You just have to be smarter about how you eat them. And now you know how. If you found this helpful, please share this video with a friend or family member who might benefit. So many seniors are being told to just cut out carbs completely, and that's not the answer. Help me get this information to the people who need it. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video, where we're going to talk about the one breakfast mistake that almost every senior makes that quietly drives up blood sugar all day long. Take care of yourself. I'll see you soon.